Hello Mousers! So this week I've decided to go big and tell you how to create your own nation. It's not as hard as you might think, strangely enough. All you really need is a bit of land and a dream, and the wherewithal to make that dream a reality. So here goes! We've got to start off by finding some land. Yoink, mine now. Now there are several ways to do this. You could always buy some land if you have the money. I recommend a small island for that because you're going to need some space for your infrastructure, your government buildings, somewhere for your people to live, things like that. If buying some land is not an option for you, then you're going to have to find somewhere that no one else has claimed yet. And oddly enough, that's not as hard to do as you might think. There are several small, unclaimed and usually uninhabitable islands in the world, so if you want, you could just go and pick one of those and get started. Oh, that bit looks nice. Oh wait, no, that's Australia. I think that's already taken. I decided I didn't want to go down that route, however. I get incredibly seasick, so it would be very difficult for me to visit my new island nation without vomiting all over it the moment I got there. So I had to look for a third option. Is there another option? Strangely enough, yes. There are several slivers of land between various nations where border disputes and basically just they've missed a bit out with territorial agreements have meant that certain tracts of land are either unclaimed or disputed, and you could pick one of those. But be aware if you take this route that you will be starting your new nation in what is essentially a territorial dispute between yourself and a much, much larger and far more well-established nation. But hey, if you want to play this game on hard mode, go ahead. For my part, I decided to take a completely different tack altogether, and I've claimed a moon. Not the moon, however, because some guy who's decided to call himself the Big Cheese has already done that in the year of my birth, strangely enough. Instead, I have chosen the Jovian moon of Io, because that's where Rimmer from Red Dwarf is from. Note to self, offer the guy who played Rimmer citizenship of the new nation. So now you've got your tract of land, what next? Well, you've got to inform other countries that you're there, particularly any of those nations that happen to be bordering you or have some other kind of claim to the land that you've claimed. But before you can do that, we've missed a step out. You will need to name your nation. Now you can do this any way you like because it's your country and whatnot, but I suggest that you pick a name that's going to resonate well with your citizens and not really go down the silly route, because let's face it, you can call your nation Bumland if you want, but people aren't going to take you seriously. For my part, I decided to call this new nation on Io, because the nation is going to cover the entire moon. Now that we have a name for our nation, we can draft our declaration and deliver it to the various nations that need to know about it. So now that we've got our tract of land and we know what the nation is called, what's next? Well, we need to form our particular type of government. The simplest route to go for this is, of course, a monarchy, because then you can rule by edict, which basically means what I say goes, and makes government a whole lot easier for you. I, however, really like laws and politics, as you can probably tell from the books behind me, so I decided that Io couldn't be a monarchy, it has to be a republic. So I formed the interim government of the Republic of Io and declared myself interim president. But since there's only me in this interim government so far, I'm going to have to form the rest of it very quickly. So Jen, I've just become the president of the Republic of Io.
Io? You mean the really hot moon of Jupiter?
Yes, the one that no one can actually live on.
Oh, I believe sunscreen will be in order.
Yes, it probably will. Would you like to be the vice president?
Yes, I'll drink to that.
Cheers!
Ching, ching.
My swift action was not without incident. Now once you've got your government together, it can start legislating right away, because there's no time like the present and you've got a lot of work to do. They can legislate through edicts, proclamations, acts, or whatever is more appropriate to the particular style of government that you have chosen. For my part, I gave the interim government some basic principles that I think we have to have, and I said them about drafting the first version of our constitution, because it's a very important document. Then I went on to designing our flag. A flag is important to a nation. It's your brand. It's your official symbol. It's what's going to be emblazoned on your athletes when they go to the Olympics, so it's a really important thing. And it should be bold, but not too complex. For my part, I decided that the flag of the Republic of Io should have the traditional 3 stripes layout, but with an extra circle in the middle to represent the fact that the Republic governs the entire moon. I chose my colours by pulling a photograph of Io off Wikipedia and grabbing some of the bold colours from the moon's surface using the eyedropper tool in Photoshop. That's how I know the colours will resonate with Ionian citizens, because they are the colours that they will see all around them if they ever manage to visit their country. Now that you have the beginnings of your nation, you're going to have to work on how to defend it. The best way to do this on an Earth nation is to be on an island that no one else wants, because then you won't have to defend yourself because no one else is going to come and claim it. But for everyone else, you're going to have to put together some sort of army of some kind. But good luck with that, because I have no idea how to do that. I'm not a military person, but hey, best of luck! Because Io is a long, long way away, chances are no one's going to go there for an awful long time, so I don't really have to spend an awful lot of thought on how to defend it. However, I will probably tell the interim government at some point to start working on moon defence or something, just to keep them occupied. Finally, you're going to have to begin diplomatic relations with other nations. To do that, you're going to have to go to the United Nations and try and get the people there to recognise your country as a real country. That's going to take a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a fair amount of diplomatic cunning. Hi, I'm the interim president of the Republic of Io. Can we join the United Nations, please? No. Aww, please. No. And best of luck with that, because most new nations can't manage it. Anyway, that's really all I've got time for today, because I have to go off and check what the government's doing on the new nation of Io. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you did like this, and if you did, remember to click the like button. Share it with your friends so that they know how to create their own country too, and do subscribe for future videos, because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching The Knob Mouse Show, and I'll see you next week.